They hunt on opposite ends of the continent. One inquisitive, boldly approaching anything in the water. The other elusive, concealed in the forest. The Siberian tiger. Over 3 meters long and weighing over 300 kilograms, making it the largest cat on the planet. Fewer than 500 Siberian tigers live in the wild. Approximately 400 of these stalk Russia's birch forests. The rest are dispersed throughout eastern China and North Korea. The Siberian inhabits a domain much colder than other tiger habitats. Here, temperatures can plunge to minus 40 degrees Celsius. But the Siberian has developed remarkable adaptations for survival all year round. Large paws prevent the cat from sinking in the snow. In warmer months, widely spaced stripes camouflage the tiger in its surroundings. As the seasons change, pale orange fur allows it to blend into the forest. In the winter, its white stomach and chest help keep the tiger out of sight and keep it warm. It's longer and thicker than the fur of warmer weather tigers such as the Sumatran and the Bengal. All these assets prove invaluable for a cat that spends almost 8 months in the snow. Coat adaptations conceal the tiger as it stalks prey. It moves in silently from the side or rear. Strong hind legs launch the cat up to 6 meters in one leap, directly on top of their prey. Siberians hunt day and night. Although not truly nocturnal, this cat is more alert and active at night. It's equipped with a special reflecting layer in its eye, called the tapetum lucidum. Located behind the retina, this film increases incoming light, making objects appear brighter, giving tigers night vision 6 times better than a human's, and allowing it to ambush prey even at night. 7.5 centimeter canine teeth sever major arteries and shear the spinal cord, while powerful jaws crush the windpipe. And although they're armed with some of the largest canine teeth of any land-based carnivore, only 1 in 10 attempts lands a kill. So a tiger often gorges after bringing down prey, eating over 27 kilos of flesh in one sitting. It uses small hooks on its tongue called papillae to cut and rip every bit of flesh from the bone. But human intrusion makes it harder for this great predator to find a meal. Every year, logging and human settlement destroy millions of acres of forest, the tiger's hunting ground. And poachers kill almost 85% of the remaining tiger population. Authorities confiscate and burn poachers' contraband to prevent its sale on the black market. Human intrusion doesn't just endanger the Siberian, it also puts us at risk. When we move deeper into this great predator's domain, we increase our chances of a deadly encounter. But Asia's powerful carnivores aren't confined to the snowy mountains of the north. They also patrol its waters. Several kilometers off Asia's coast, a small fishing boat capsizes. Splashing may attract unwanted company. The oceanic white-tip shark claims another victim. Over 350 known shark species roam the world's waters. Most are harmless to us, but some have been known to attack humans, including the oceanic white-tip. Known for boldly approaching humans, it can be one of the world's most dangerous sharks. Up to 3 meters long, it's named after its large, rounded, white-edged fins. It's a solitary hunter, finding prey with its keen sense of hearing, eyesight, and smell. But sharks have a sixth sense. Tiny black pores on their snouts, called ampullae of Lorenzini. These minute capsules are filled with a gel-like substance that senses electrical charges in the water, like those given off by splashing fish or humans. The white-tip preys primarily on bony fish like tuna. Using its pointed bottom teeth to hold its catch, while razor-sharp top teeth saw off large chunks of flesh. Each year, there are up to 70 confirmed shark attacks. But human attacks on sharks are much more common. We kill an average of 36 million sharks every year. But when these great jaws bite, the white-tip secures its reputation as one of the deadliest creatures in the ocean. They are two of the most awe-inspiring and deadly predators in Asia. But smaller creatures can also pack a lethal predatory punch. Asia's human population continues to grow and expand into rural spaces once inhabited only by native species. But here, the largest creatures aren't always the deadliest. Some weigh in at a little under a kilogram. Snakes. In Asia, they bite up to 4 million people every year, and reportedly kill 100,000 men, women, and children. It stays warm by basking in the sun, often where we live. The Habu pit viper. This explosively fast viper only lives on the tiny southwest islands of Japan. It's often drawn to human settlements in search of rodents, its main prey. One of Asia's most aggressive snakes, it bites almost 600 people a year. During the day, it blends into leaf litter or low brush, waiting for prey to come within striking range. It's one of the longest vipers in Asia, reaching lengths of over 2 meters. and it can land a bite from a meter away, half its body length, in the blink of an eye. But it's not just speed that makes this serpent so dangerous. Between its eyes and nostrils are pit organs. Sensory receptors detecting infrared radiation or heat emitted by warm-blooded creatures. They are 100 times more sensitive to heat than human skin. And when on the prowl, the habu can hone in on any prey warmer than its surroundings. Even in the dark, this viper can land a deadly bite. Its fangs stretch up to 27 millimeters. A hemotoxic venom flows from the viper's glands through hollow fangs, causing massive internal bleeding. It may continue killing blood cells long after a bite. Victims may suffer for years. In some cases, amputation is the only way to stop the toxin's effects. The habu's powerful venom and proximity to humans make it one of the deadliest snakes in Asia. But here, a smaller snake can be surprisingly dangerous. The yamakagashi. It usually stretches less than 60 centimeters. But what it lacks in size, it makes up for in toxicity. All venomous snakes deliver toxins through their fangs, but this snake can also dole out poison through glands. It's commonly found throughout Eastern Asia, hunting in and around rice paddies for frogs and toads. Finding prey may be easy, but killing it can be difficult. The yamakagashi is equipped with small rear-facing fangs measuring less than 7 millimeters. And unlike its larger fanged brethren, getting these short daggers into its victim can prove challenging. Once fastened onto its catch, the snake's venom runs down the fangs and into the prey. Hemotoxic venom slowly enters its bloodstream, causing uncontrolled internal bleeding and eventually death. Sometimes a toad provides more than just a meal. Some yamakagashis sequester toxins from poisonous toads. The snake stores these borrowed toxins in special glands on its neck, called nuchal glands. When under attack, the yamakagashi presents the nuchal glands as a target. Pressure on these glands releases toxins into the assailant's mouth, halting the attack and giving the snake time to escape. While the yamakagashi rarely delivers enough venom to kill a human, one Asian snake is so deadly, the effects of its venom have earned it legendary status. 100-pacer pit viper. It injects a toxin so lethal, legend claims it kills human victims before they can take 100 steps. It lives in southern China and northern Vietnam. Often found near forest streams, the 100-pacer is a master at detecting prey. Heat-sensing pit organs locate any prey warmer than its surroundings. The snake waits, coiled and motionless, for prey to come to it. Then it strikes. Over 2 centimeters long, hollow fangs extend like switchblades and inject venom into prey like hypodermic needles. Its hemotoxic venom begins to work immediately, Massive internal bleeding kills the rodent within minutes. This viper may be responsible for killing hundreds, ensuring that the legend of the 100-pacer lives on. But perhaps the most feared snake is the one people actually flock to see. In the ancient tradition of snake charming, performers engage in a seemingly dangerous dance. Many snakes have been defanged and cause little harm. But coming face to face with this deadly snake in the wild can have serious consequences. The monocled cobra. It lives in a wide range of habitats throughout most of Central and Southeastern Asia, including forests and open grasslands. But it's also drawn to areas settled by humans, where it hunts for rodents, putting it dangerously close to us. When this snake strikes, it injects a neurotoxic venom so potent, mere drops can kill. It paralyzes the nervous system, causing the muscles that power the lungs to shut down, killing prey in minutes. Then, the snake consumes its meal. But venom isn't the cobra's first line of defense. When threatened, it issues a warning. It does this by spreading the ribs in its neck to extend loose skin and display its famous hood. Its single ring, or monocle, looks like an eye and deters attacks from behind, while increased body size discourages frontal attacks, making this cobra as effective in defense as it is in attack. But other animals in Asia secure a meal through different strategies, hunting throughout much of the continent, even among its human population. And they are all but impervious to human boundaries. Encounters with these animals can be deadly. It's one of the largest carnivores on Earth, reaching over 2 meters long and weighing up to 450 kilos. It's part of the same family as the North American grizzly and the Alaskan Kodiak. But in Asia, it's simply known as the brown bear. It lives throughout much of Central and Northern Asia in a wide range of habitats, including forests and open fields. It has survived in such vastly different environments because it's a true omnivore and will eat almost anything. Its 10-centimeter long claws help dig up earth, exposing roots, insects, and fruit. But brown bears will also scavenge for a meal, feasting on carrion and rummaging through dumps near human settlements. But its diet isn't limited to foraging. The brown bear is adept at fishing, and hunting on land. The bear stands on its hind legs to test the wind for nearby prey. It uses its exceptional sense of smell to detect odors more than 1.5 kilometers away. The hump between its shoulder blades is all muscle, giving its front legs extra power to run at bursts of up to 50 kilometers per hour, as fast as a thoroughbred racehorse. Like its cousin, the grizzly, a brown bear can take down large prey with a single blow. Bears spend much of their time eating, building up enough fat stores to endure 7 months of hibernation. In the struggle to find food, they can be extremely competitive with each other and dangerous to humans. But another animal can attack without warning. The macaque. It may look comical, but this cunning prankster has a dark side. It's one of the most aggressive monkeys in Asia. When they fight for territory, the results can be gory. And they don't just fight each other for space. They also enter our territory and clash with us. Their natural habitats include the sparsely populated tropical forests and mangrove swamps, common throughout much of Asia. And macaques are abundant in northern India. Here, over 55% of macaques live in densely populated areas. And they bite almost 100 people every day. An encounter can leave a scar, inflict disease, and even kill. They stand under 60 centimeters and weigh less than 8 kilograms. But when they attack as a group, they can be intimidating. They enter occupied houses looking for a meal. Some raids can turn deadly. But usually, the monkeys just steal food and destroy property. Despite this intrusive behavior, some revere the macaque as the living embodiment of the Hindu monkey god Hanuman. Pilgrims bringing food offerings such as fruit and nuts to the temples encourage the monkey's presence. The monkeys stake out the area, waiting for their next meal to be delivered. This daily interaction emboldens the monkeys, causing them to become more aggressive towards humans. Sharp teeth up to 12 millimeters long puncture skin, transmitting a host of diseases, including rabies and salmonella. The number of macaques living in urban areas continues to rise. But attacks from above aren't limited to bands of rogue monkeys. It is the smallest of Asia's deadliest, but a giant in the insect world. The largest wasp on the planet, the giant hornet. It's nearly the size of a deck of cards and the most venomous hornet in the world. The giant hornet can kill with a single sting. A stinger over half a centimeter long injects a complex enzyme mixture. It destroys tissue, an ability shared by other wasps. But unique to the giant hornet is a neurotoxin that shuts down the nervous system. An allergic reaction can cause anaphylactic shock and kill. A giant hornet colony lives for only 6 months of the year, but during that time, they kill some 40 people. They roam throughout much of Asia from India to Japan. In the spring, the queen emerges from hibernation to build her nest in a dead tree or a hole in the ground. Here she lays the eggs that will become the hive's workers and soldiers. Within weeks, the hive population explodes to thousands, all sisters serving their queen. To feed the queen's large brood, this worker sets off in search of prey. Like most wasps, they are carnivores, gorging themselves on other insects, like this praying mantis. Powerful mandibles or pinchers decapitate prey. But she does not kill to satiate her own appetite. The hornet chews its victim into a goo-like protein substance, then brings the meal back to the hive to feed hundreds of voracious young. During the summer, the giant hornet constantly seeks out food. This scout discovers a large honeybee hive. It marks it with a pheromone secreted from glands in its hindquarters. It's a signal to attack. The pheromone attracts other giant hornets to the hive, where they begin their assault. But their success doesn't depend on their numbers. Just one of these hornets can kill over 300 honeybees in an hour. The honeybees instinctively defend their hive, but they're no match against a giant 5 times their size. Within hours, the small troop of giant wasps slaughters almost 30,000 bees. Decimating the entire colony. The wasps return to their hive with their spoils, valuable protein for their young. In Asia, some of the most lethal creatures thrive in large numbers close to human settlements. But 2 animals struggle to survive in the presence of man. It lurks in Asia's freshwater lakes, rivers, and streams, searching for its next meal. The mugger crocodile. It dwells in southwestern Asia, but the largest numbers are in India. In Hindi, the word magar means water monster. Mugger is derived from this word. For millions of years, it has earned its deadly reputation and fearsome name. But this water monster also spends time on land. A cold-blooded reptile, it's often seen gaping, mouth wide open, basking in the sun. The blood close to its scales heats up and circulates throughout the body, helping the mugger maintain a constant body temperature. The warmth of the sun also drives off annoying parasites, like these leeches. This giant predator becomes most lethal in the water. When hunting, the mugger waits near shore, motionless, sometimes for hours. Only its eyes, ears, and nostrils remain above water. Many escape death by leaping over the mugger's domain. But others, such as this bandicoot, aren't so lucky. When a mugger launches an attack, it latches onto prey with vice-like jaws lined with nearly 70 spiked teeth. Then it drags its victim under the water and holds it there until it drowns. A valve in its throat called the glottis prevents water from entering the lungs while the croc kills its prey. But to eat, the mugger must lift its head above water. Reaching over 4.5 meters and weighing up to 500 kilograms, it's big enough to take down large prey such as buffalo. But its main diet consists of fish, reptiles, and small mammals. And muggers aren't just a threat to prey. At the onset of the mating season, males become highly territorial. They assemble and battle for dominance. A jaw and tail slap is a direct challenge. This large male responds by raising its head and tail out of the water, signaling his willingness to fight. Bubbling and spraying display dominance. The ensuing battle can be bloody, sometimes even fatal. But this time, the loser retreats with his life. Muggers also compete for territory with people. Human development often destroys croc habitat. Diverting rivers and draining waterholes for crop irrigation forces the crocodile to seek out new water sources. During the dry season, it may walk for hours, sometimes even days. When the only available water is near human settlements, the battle between muggers and humans can be deadly. But the mugger crocodile isn't the only prehistoric animal fighting for space. So is the largest rhino in Asia, the great Indian rhinoceros. This massive creature weighs over 1,800 kilos, as much as a four-wheel drive vehicle. And despite its 2 tons of mass, it can run up to 45 kilometers per hour. It's the largest one-horned rhino on the planet, earning it the name, the Greater One-Horned Rhinoceros. Its horn consists of hair-like fibers called keratin, much like the matter that makes up our own fingernails. Some believe the rhino's horn has healing properties, a belief that's added to the greater one-horn's near extinction. They once roamed by the thousands in a large area of southern Asia. By the early 1900s, there were fewer than 200 rhinos living in the wild. Today, they are primarily confined to 2 protected reserves in Nepal and India. It's a herbivore, grazing on elephant grass, leaves and fruit. Its upper lip curls around grasses and stems, gripping the food and placing it in its mouth, consuming over 22 kilograms a day. But during the dry season, when food supplies are scarce, the rhino will leave the protected park to consume farmers' crops. Roaming from protected land further exposes them to poaching. These rangers try to herd the rhino back into the park, but they must use caution. Rhinos can be unpredictable and aggressive. Males vying for mating rights can be even more threatening to each other. They face off with 8-centimeter long razor-sharp lower incisor tusks. Their battles can turn bloody. Despite these dangerous encounters with each other and with poachers, the Indian rhino population has rebounded from 200 to 2,000 in the last century. Under the watchful eye of armed park guards, this ancient creature continues to survive in Asia. But one animal reigns above all others as Asia's deadliest.
First time I saw him, I realized that he might be a problem bear. He was looking like a brutal, very confident guy. I saw the face of bear attacking bear who wanted to kill.
The polar bear. It's the largest land carnivore on the planet, weighing up to 800 kilos, or as much as 10 men. It lives farther north than any other bear on Earth, ruling the Arctic Circle, including northern Siberia on the continent of Asia. Here, temperatures can plunge to minus 46 degrees Celsius and stay that way for days or even weeks. But the polar bear is superbly equipped to handle life in this brutal climate. A layer of blubber almost 13 centimeters thick helps keep it warm, while 2 coats of fur help maintain body temperature. A woolly undercoat keeps the bear insulated, while coarse outer hairs repel water. Scientist and researcher Dr. Nikita Ovsyannikov is also used to facing the Arctic climate and facing off with the Arctic's biggest predator. Dr. Ovsyannikov has been living and working among polar bears for more than 17 years. He spends months, often alone, in remote Siberian polar bear territory. Here, Ovsyannikov tracks and studies the bears up close, sometimes as close as 2 meters. Working without the protection of cages or vehicles, Dr. Ovsyannikov is armed with little more than his knowledge of these great predators, a large stick, and a video camera. He's captured hundreds of hours of footage like this. Through his experience with polar bears, Dr. Ovsyannikov has become keenly aware of their abilities. He's had over 1,500 encounters with this giant predator and a few close calls.
And the first one was when I was filming a bear at my usual observation point, and he saw me on approach and he started walking toward me. And when I made the first step from him, he just got this idea that if I'm walking from him, I am afraid he can try to attack. Next second, he ran toward me, and I had no time to think and plan any action. I just had to run from him.
But Dr. Ovsyannikov knows running can be one of the worst reactions when encountering a polar bear. It often provokes an attack. And the scientist had no chance of outrunning the bear. Polar bears can run up to 40 kilometers per hour, faster than an Olympic sprinter. Large, rounded, snowshoe-like paws distribute its weight evenly, enabling it to navigate over such challenging terrain as unstable pack ice. Dr. Ovsyannikov made it back to the safety of his cabin just seconds before the bear. But the bear would not relent and tried to break in through the window. If it had got in, just one blow from its massive 30-centimeter paw could have killed Ovsyannikov in an instant. The scientist scrambled to save his own life and fired off a blast of pepper spray.
And the reaction was as if he hit a firewall. He jumped back, started shaking his head, he ran to the sea, and he swam more than 1 hour washing his face from this pepper spray.
Water is a refuge for the bear. Its scientific name, Ursus maritimus, means sea bear. A marine mammal, the polar bear spends its life swimming in the Arctic Ocean and hunting off the pack ice around the sea. Webbed forepaws act as paddles, propelling the bear through the water. It can swim up to 10 kilometers per hour and travel more than 96 kilometers without rest. But it often returns to land to hunt.
When he came out of the sea, I didn't know what idea he developed while swimming. I thought he may now have a plan to take revenge on me. He came to 70 meters from the cabin and laid down in the gravel with his face toward me, watching me. And the same way they lay near seal holes when they are hunting seals.
Dr. Ovsyannikov thinks the polar bear is demonstrating classic hunting behavior. When hunting seals, its main dietary staple, the great white bear stakes out a breathing hole. Seals must surface every 15 minutes to breathe, but they often use different holes. So the bear may have to wait for days for a meal to come up for air. When seals return to land, they often take refuge in air pockets between layers of snow. But the polar bear can detect its prey's scent over half a kilometer away and through up to a meter of snow, tracking it directly to the seal's hiding place. Then, with a heavy downward lunge, it punches through snow and ice, surprising its hidden quarry. But the bear couldn't punch through Dr. Ovsyannikov's cabin, and the scientist never emerged. After a few hours, the great carnivore finally left. The next day, Ovsyannikov was wary, but undeterred by the frightening incident, and returned to his life's passion.
And next day I had to take a really serious effort to force myself go back to the speed, because he was on the speed.
But this time, when the bear and Dr. Ovsyannikov faced off, the bear backed down. They are an elite group, embodying all of nature's grandeur and power. They have thrived with a vast array of survival skills and defenses. They are Asia's deadliest animals.